Hey everyone, it's me again, Melisa Arroyo, back with you for another wellness video. Today I want to continue our conversation on emotional intelligence. This is my third video. I will be putting the link to the playlist of this type of information down below in the comments. So if you're new to emotional intelligence or new to my channel, welcome. Emotional intelligence is our ability to identify and process our own emotions as well as those of others. So by identifying, which I've talked about in a previous video, our own emotions, we're able to understand our feelings and be okay with what we're feeling and process them. In other words, react in a manner that is beneficial for yourself. And in this particular video, I'm also now just going to add on the component of other people, as if understanding our own emotions and processing them is not enough to deal with. So when we are also dealing with other people, which that is very likely that you are doing, whether it is friendships, romantic partnerships, family, all of this is a matter of learning to also identify what the other person is going through or thinking, feeling, but more particularly feeling, and understanding them in a way that you don't just hear them, but when you're really truly listening, it's almost as if you could be feeling the same feelings as them, or at least find a parallel to a time when you felt something similar. And so that we are not only being able to listen to them in a way that's beneficial, but also connect with that other individual in a level that allows us to really create a better environment between the individuals. So, and this is one of those things where identifying other people's emotions can be difficult, especially when the other party is not willing to identify their own emotions. And it is very important to not put words in other people's mouths. Ask questions like, I'm wondering if you're upset because you're doing X, Y, and Z. Usually it's like, I'm wondering if you're upset because your voice sounds kind of angry towards me. And when we're dealing with stuff like this, it's important to try to self-regulate ourselves and remember that it's okay if we ourselves are upset, we feel sad, but also knowing how to verbalize it in a way that the other person understands. And an example of that, I think I've said this before in a previous video, but for those of you who are new, they're called I statements, beginning with I, me, the person, because if you start with you, they will feel attacked, or if they're already on the defense, they will not listen to you because they think you're just talking down on them, or it may sound aggressive. So tone is one thing you have to pay attention, as well as what language you're using. So like I said, I statements. I feel upset when you don't listen to me because it makes me not feel as if I'm valued. And maybe the other person will be in a good place to talk as well. A thing that helps, and it may seem silly, but it might be a little bit easier between romantic partners and close friendships like best friends, and as well as family members like parents and their children, taking some deep breaths when everyone's upset to really mellow us out a little bit, so we are able to go from the part of our brain where when emotion rules us, it is more primal, meaning that it could be more aggressive and more reactive. When we are able to breathe, we're able to kind of relax our minds a little bit so that our thinking, our processes, our mental capacities are moved into the frontal lobe, which is the part of the brain that deals with logical thought, with rational thought, with being able to regulate our emotions. And when I say regulate emotions, it does not mean to stuff them down and not express them at all. It is being able to express them, like, hey, you could cry in front of people. You know, it's one thing if you're not comfortable, and that's another conversation for another video. But crying in front of people is okay if you feel it deep inside of you. And, you know, sometimes it may be inappropriate. Maybe at work you don't feel like it's an appropriate place to cry. Maybe go to the restroom and cry. Find a coworker, find a boss that you feel comfortable with, or a supervisor. Call someone on the phone in your car and cry. But it is the matter of knowing how to express ourselves, where to express ourselves, that will be beneficial not only for ourselves, but for the people who we are talking to. So, like I said, listening to the other individual in a manner that does not seem accusatory, so using I statements, and asking questions with not why, like, why are you doing that? Like, I'm wondering what's going on that is upsetting you, or I'm wondering why, or I'm wondering how come your voice has changed. Not using the word why right at the beginning, because like I said, it sounds accusatory. It has that tone where it kind of puts you on the defense. And don't be surprised if you don't get it right away, if it takes time to develop this, or it feels funny using this. It might feel robotic at first, but as time goes on, it becomes a more natural feeling for you to process emotions, not only yourself in this manner, but having others, especially those closest to you, process them. I find myself using most of those I wonder, I'm thinking, I feel, those type of statements in my day-to-day life, not just as a student counselor. So I hope that some of these little ideas and tips on communication help with emotional intelligence. I will be creating more videos on emotional intelligence, so stay tuned. I will catch you guys later.